Well, Japan's first female Prime Minister, Sanae Takaichi, is seeking to secure her grip on power in a national election on Sunday, with polls suggesting a win for her Conservative Party. The country is struggling through record-breaking snowfall, which could impact voter turnout. Dr. Donna Weeks is an emeritus professor with Tokyo's Musashino University and is with me now. Donna, good morning to you. Thank you very much for your time.
My pleasure, Catherine.
We know that Takaichi announced a snap poll in January, just 3 months after becoming Prime Minister. She's a Conservative. She's pretty big and campaigning on fiscal expansion of the fiscal area. But is this election more about politics or policy?
I think it's about politics and policy, if I can put it that way. There's a big question mark over why she went now. It's perhaps the shortest campaigning period in something like 60 years. There is a sense, I mean, there's no compulsion for her to have gone to an election. So there is this sense that, you know, once they become Prime Minister, having been elected just by the party and party members, Prime Ministers in recent years have felt this need to go to the electorate to try and get some kind of mandate. And I think this is what she's done. Now, unfortunately, I think for her, her timing is really poor. As you said in the introduction, in the first instance, Japan's going through some record snowfall. And it's not, and because voting in Japan isn't compulsory, it's not unusual for the weather to affect voting. And I think the snowfall, particularly in the northern part of Japan, which is very much an LDP, her party's strongest base, I think she's going to struggle to actually get the numbers. Interestingly, because of the nature in which she's called this election this time, her popularity in the week, you know, if you look at opinion polls, has, well, not plummeted, but it's certainly gone down because it also has coincided with entrance exam time for students, so they're quite stressed. All the places that would usually be used for polling booths had been booked out for the 8th of February for other things. So this is kind of, I think, maybe backfired just a little bit.
Yeah, interesting. I mean, time will obviously tell, and Sunday we'll see who turns out. You mentioned students there. She seems to have, generally speaking, been quite popular with the youth vote. Her pink pen's gone viral. Her handbags are selling out. We've seen her drumming on stage. Yes. Why do you think she's proving to be so popular? Is it that she's quite unexpected?
There's a little bit of that. I think people are giving her a little bit of an opportunity because she is the first female Prime Minister. There is that kind of move she has, you know, with the drumming and so on that people are kind of attracted to. But I think in the end, when it comes to the voting, what we've seen with younger people, and, you know, this is the age group that I've been teaching for the last 8 years or so, they're a little bit tired of the LDP, but they're not prepared to go quite to the opposition. And so this is where I think we're going to see youth vote probably go more towards some of these newer, more populist right-wing parties, I think. So she might be trying to get them in with, you know, pink pens and the rest, but I think it's not going to ultimately impress the youth to the extent of where they'll place their vote.
So, Donna, where do the main challenges and the main opposition come from?
Well, the main opposition, this is interesting this time. Now, as soon as she became Prime Minister, the Komeito, the party that had been in coalition with the LDP for at least 25 years or so, pulled out of that coalition. And I think that says a lot about how they were concerned that Takaichi was going to pull Japan further to the right, and they didn't want to do that. Now, the Komeito, which is a kind of a religious-based, they're attached to the Soka Gakkai, they have a very solid vote. They've interestingly gone into coalition now, or a kind of alliance, with probably one of the more progressive Democrat parties previously on the opposition side. Now, they literally registered the day before campaigning started. They haven't really had a good chance to gain ground. The Komeito vote will follow the Komeito to that side, but it remains to be seen whether or not that's going to be enough to pull, you know, to give the opposition parties any sort of opportunity. It's a very interesting added element to this election.
I mean, I had read in the lead up to this that she could capture as many as 300 seats in the 465-seat lower house. I mean, that sounds like with what you're saying now, that's probably not as likely to get up that high. But if she does get it across the line, how do you think she'll shape Japan? What would it look like, particularly under, you know, the term under her economics, her Sanae economics?
Yes, they all like to put that nomics suffix on these days, don't they?
Yeah.
Make it hard for us to work it out. Look, she's very much a protege of former Prime Minister Abe. She will pull Japan to the right. She's very keen to revise the constitution, take out that peace clause, militarise Japan, make Japan a stronger military country. That's of great concern for the broader issue of security in Asia. She does have this notion of, yes, this fiscal approach to her economy. She wants to offer handouts to people, as Abe did, perhaps during the pandemic and so on. She's talking about putting a hold on what is effectively their GST, consumption tax, on food items for 2 years, just to try. One of the big issues is the cost of living. So all the parties are vying for, we have the best cost of living policies, and it's all centering on what they're going to do with the percentage of the GST, which is currently 8% on food and 10% on all services. So some want to abolish it altogether. So that's where the main appeal is for the voters on the day. But the background is, bringing Japan more to the right, the populist sort of side of politics, as we're seeing with a worldwide trend at the moment.